everybody.
How is
How y'all
everyone
doing?
doing today?
Handling quarantine day 379
Woo!
of
I
this
feel like it's in
lockdown.
the air though. It's in the air. Like people are starting to say, "Hey, like let's come out of this now."
You think so?
I feel
I
it.
don't know. People
I
are scared. They're all wearing masks.
Well,
The other day
yeah,
I
but
went to
you
go take
know,
out. I went to get takeout, and the
mhm.
guy like looked at me. He's like, "Oh my god, people!" Like he froze. He didn't know what to do. It's hilarious.
So I live right off a major highway. Oh, got some feedback there. I live
Yeah,
right off a
that
major
you?
highway, so I've actually
Uh
noticed an
huh.
increase in traffic on the highway.
Oh, have you now?
Yes.
So is that a good thing, or is it just people just I don't know breaking quarantine?
Who knows?
Breaking quarantine. Report them. That's what they want us to do. I can't be a rat though. I can't be a rat, but that's what they want us to
Oh
do.
man.
They're like, "Yo, report them if they're breaking quarantine." I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
no,
that's
that's your.
ridiculous. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's not for me to do. Yeah, so I don't know, but I got some. I'm looking forward to finally moving away from this. Like just kind of getting back to reality, routines and just life. Like my
Yes.
buddy called me up the other day and he was telling me like, yo, we were just reminiscing and thinking about all the stuff that we can't do right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to just go and sit down and have like a nice dinner with my family. Like those
Okay.
little things that we used to do, it's like
That you just
we took it
can't.
for
You
granted,
can't
but
do it.
yeah, but now we can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like I can't go to Roadhouse right now. I mean, we can go to Roadhouse, we can do takeout, but it's the atmosphere of it, you know? It's like
Yes.
that's the thing that I'm missing right now. It's the whole atmosphere, going out, meeting new people, and going out just, to the club, having a good time. It's just so much stuff I'm missing.
Ugh.
I mean,
You
I'm not
know,
I'm not fiending.
I'm not.
I'm not fiending.
I'm not proud of it, but I miss going shopping.
Yeah. I mean, you're still shopping.
I miss
Yeah, you're
I
still
miss going
shopping.
to Home Goods and
I mean, look,
Marshalls and TJ
I can see your
Maxx.
receipts. I can see your receipts. You're shopping.
Oh
You're
my
shopping
god.
hard.
I All right, so I'm not so much shopping as I am doing
Right.
little fixer uppers. First off, all right, the government sent out these stimulus checks for us to spend, not to sit on. So I spent my stimulus check, okay?
I invested mine.
I am
Okay.
helping my economy.
I see that. That's the excuse. You got to help the economy. You're
Yes.
a
Oh
freedom
my
fighter.
gosh.
You got to
I
keep
remodeled my bathroom.
society alive.
I remodeled my bathroom and I
Okay.
built a seating area and a pergola in my backyard. Like
I don't even know what a pergu. What a pergogi?
a
What?
pergola. I've been going
What a pepperoni?
in.
What you got
Oh
yourself
man.
like a free pizza?
And then the seating area, I built it out of like cinder blocks, like those really heavy blocks. Oh my god, I'm making like my
Okay.
workout in.
Why don't you do like a brick oven out there so we can make pizza out there?
I thought about doing one of those, but
Yeah, right. Or
I don't
something
know.
nice to like barbecue. Like we could break out some steaks and
We shall
stuff when it gets
see.
warmer.
Yeah. So the
Look,
seating area
this
was
is why I don't
first.
think this is why I don't think this quarantine can last any longer because it's starting to get warmer.
Yes.
And
I am
you
itching
could
to go
take
back into the
Memorial Day
wilderness.
weekend. Yeah, you could
I want
take
to go
Memorial Day
hiking.
weekend. You could take Memorial Day weekend away from people, but you cannot take Fourth of July. Look if we're in quarantine come July, people are going to be rioting. They're like, I want my summer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, with
I
the
just,
nicer weather, it inspires that in you. You want to get outdoors. You want to enjoy the weather. It's just a
exactly
natural
right,
instinct.
right. And they're talking about that they're gonna enforce. I know in Jersey they were saying this that they're gonna enforce that you have to rent a cabana, which is crazy because New Jersey already has these laws where you have to pay to go to the beach. You have to get like a day pass.
Right.
So can you imagine having to pay for your day pass to go to the beach, and now you have to rent a cabana,
Oh,
and then you have to keep, you still have to do, the whole social distancing.
oh my god,
That's
it's so
crazy. Like I can't.
unfair.
It
That's
is.
just
I can't see it. Like it's just
it's
overreaching.
making it that much harder for people to just get out and enjoy nature.
Yeah, and that's what you should be doing. Like you should be
Yes.
going out and enjoying nature. You should be going to the gym. You should be staying healthy.
You know what though I
And
had now that we're talking about nature? I had this thought. So you know how like the earth is like reclaiming itself and like it's cleaning itself. It's like
Yeah,
cleansing
that's what I
itself
told
right
you. Mother
now.
Gaia. Yeah, Mother Gaia,
Yes. So
right?
I'm
She's
also thinking
taking
about the fact that like the animals have noticed that our presence hasn't really been around. They've noticed it.
uh-huh.
So they're probably
Yeah, there's
roaming. They're probably roaming these trails,
they
not
are.
thinking anything of it. Like I'm not going on the trail for a few months.
No,
But
they
I
show
do
I
want to
saw
get out into
photos.
like the wilderness, just not too deep into the woods, you know.
There was photos online of like all like you said, natural animals just
Hmm.
roaming cities.
Oh my god.
There's like New York City has like deers just running around right now
That's so
because like you
crazy.
said, there's no cars. Can you imagine like you see like a big brown bear or something like that just like roaming
Oh my
around
god, I
Philly or
saw a
something?
meme. It was hilarious. I saw a meme. A really big bear was like looking into somebody's house, like through like their
Uh-huh.
glass doors, like their back doors. And it was
Right.
like, oh, you know, like you guys haven't been out in 2 weeks. We're just coming to check on you, kind of thing.
Yep. Yep. That's how it is. And but you know what? This is their world too. So for
Yes.
them to like
Oh, we lost you. I am so excited about getting back outside, man. And I like the fact that animals are enjoying time without us.
virus for this.
You know,
Yeah.
it's their right. This is their land too. And as humans,
Yeah.
we tend to claim a lot of land when
Right.
we're supposed to be sharing this earth.
As humans, we lost our strongest strength, which was the strength to be able to be minimalistic
Mhm.
and nomadic. Like we were supposed to be the ones that aren't always on the move,
Mhm.
using everything that we like when we killed something, we would use it all, right?
Yeah.
And we would be less wasteful because leaving a trail of waste behind would cause an animal to come to us, right?
Right. Mhm.
So we were very one with nature back in the day, and now we're very destructive in our just our push to be globalistic and take over the world, and our advancements is hurting not only us but the planet as well and our animals.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I
like
was
I
reading.
wish.
Oh, I wish I knew the statistic, but came across it. We've made like 30% of animals go extinct.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Instinct?
I mean,
No.
think about just the hunting, just the hunting of people, just the prize hunting of rhinos because of their horns, or elephants because of their tusks.
Yes.
Like they're the only remaining animals, like elephants and rhinos are in the zoo.
Oh,
It's crazy that that's where they
that's
are. They
heartbreaking.
can't even be roaming. They can't be. They're domesticated. They're captivated. They're in a cage, sad. But that's
Yeah.
the only way they can survive because we as humans are just awful.
Oh,
I don't know any other word to say it. We're disgusting.
we are. We
And
are. And it's one thing for us to protect like our towns. Like, we don't want a lion just coming in to our town taking our children. Of course not.
right.
But
But
for
now
us
it's
to
we're
go, we're doing like too much. Now we're going into
right.
their,
It's
not
OD
now.
now.
This is what we've been
Right.
doing for a very long time, but we're
Right.
going into their territory, into their
Uh-huh.
homes and eradicating them.
Right. And I wish that this whole, because right now we're on a pause, right?
Hmm.
We're on a pause where we can actually, as a species, we can reflect.
Yeah.
We can actually take a minute and say, look, what is it that we're doing to the planet? And I wish we could all come together. Like if the UN was actually what it was, we would be able to come to the table and say, look at what the last 2 3 months of not staying at home and not doing anything.
Hmm.
Look at what we've done to the planet as far as recouping the
Yes.
damage we already done. How do we become one with the planet once again and our fellow animals?
Oh, that's such a
Like
beautiful
how do we
question.
how do we awaken that? How do we tap
Yes.
into that? Does it mean that we have to stay home more? So then why don't we have this massive push into everybody working from home so
Yeah.
we're not traveling all the time?
Clearly it's working.
Right.
I mean, not for everybody.
But it's
Oh
doable.
man, it's such a two-sided sword, because I mean there are so many people who are suffering because they can't go to work right now.
And I say let them go to work. Look, if your job requires you to be at a manual office or a manual location so that you can do what you have to do,
Hmm.
then by all means do it. I'm not saying to take that away, but I'm saying we have modern technology right now where the majority of people can work from home.
Yeah.
as the more and more we move online, we have more servers, we have more backend, moving to the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we move, our personnel to remote locations and say, hey, look, you're just gonna work from home. You don't have
Yeah.
look, can you imagine the overhead that would be safe for companies if they just said, hey, we don't have to provide you a desk anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to provide this building that holds 500 people where we're running rent and utilities and all this stuff. People can just work from home.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not one. I don't know the numbers as far as how much of an impact productivity has been hit with everybody staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I've been working from home this whole time,
Yeah.
and I've been doing the same exact thing that I've been doing. At the office, I'm doing it at home, and I feel so much more rejuvenated. I get to sleep more. I don't have to commute. I'm not getting stressed by traffic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And
saving money.
honestly, for companies, if they do see a decrease in like the work, the production and everything, what you need to do is hire the right people.
Right.
Because maybe the
Let
person you
him
had
go.
doing that job, maybe they were doing really great when they were at the physical office, but maybe that's not the job for them as a remote
Right.
job. So then you hire
Right.
somebody who does have that self discipline.
Plus, I think people would have the motivation. I mean, some people, don't get me wrong, some people procrastinate, some people will try to cut corners.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
think for the most part, if they're being compensated and they're also getting the opportunity to work from home,
Mm-hmm.
like I know I'm paranoid when I work from home because I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I'm staying productive and I'm staying online and connected. Whenever somebody sends me a message or they're looking for me, they can get a hold of me
Yes.
because I'm not trying to be, terminated because I wasn't present or
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't available, right? So I don't. I mean, you hire the right people, and you let go of the ones who are not producing.
Exactly.
But I think the system could be something where it's a hybrid,
Mm-hmm.
where maybe you go to the office 1 or 2 times a week, for a meeting or something. Kind of have that group think, that group work,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the rest of the time, when you're off on your own, you do that at home.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand this whole I have to be watching you in the office.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a sense of babysitting.
It's
It's
definitely
corporate
it's
babysitting.
definitely just one of those things that has not
Been pushed forward.
no, it hasn't.
Right.
We're stuck in our old ways because that's how it was before. Before we had the technology to work from home, we had to go
Right.
to the office. So
Right.
now it's a time for us to shift and utilize these technologies that we have available to us. I mean, everyone has it. I mean, who doesn't have a cell phone?
Right.
You
And I
know?
honestly think I honestly think that we're gonna see a massive push for it, not because of hey, it's great to be at home and hey, it's more better for morale.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna see it as a way for companies to cut costs. Because think
I can
about
see
it, the
that.
economy is hurting. The economy is hurting right now, right?
Yeah.
So you have these companies that are hurting. What are they going to do? Hey, why don't you just stay at home, keep working from home, and now we're going to downsize the building that we're renting,
Yeah.
or we're going to
Absolutely.
sublease, 1 or 2 floors to a different company because we're hurting financially.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see that. Then again, I also hear that people want to they're going to enforce because of the quarantine, they're going to enforce going back to work and wearing gloves and having a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why can't we just stay at home?
Oh my gosh. I don't see that being like even a possibility long term. Actually, I went to Target the other day.
Right.
And I've been doing like this whole like online ordering. They bring it to the car. It's great. But the other day I
Mm-hmm.
ordered and I
Best
accidentally
Buy
did
does that
it.
too.
I actually did it as like a pickup order, so I had to go inside for my order.
Right.
So of course, hand and face emoji. I was like, God damn it. So I put on my mask, I put on my gloves, and as I walk in, there's a sign at Target,
Mm-hmm.
and it just says, according to the CDC, in order to enter the building, you have to have a mask on. But
Right.
what,
Everybody's doing that right now.
yes, but what really caught my attention was how permanent this sign looked. It wasn't just like something taped to the door. It's like they
Oh,
built like this like
a
metal like
sign, and that's what we're moving.
stand.
Well,
Yes.
what I'm hearing is, and that really makes sense, is that we're probably going to be doing this for the next 2 years until they actually find a vaccine.
No way.
That's what I'm reading in the news. And
First off, this
honestly,
whole vaccine thing is like blowing my mind because they're so contradictory. First, they're saying, like, oh, well, the body's immune system is not naturally providing, like the changes that we're supposed to, to automatically do to fight off a virus.
mhm,
Our immune system's not adapting to it.
right.
But a vaccine doesn't just eradicate something. It actually
No, it
gives you the
slows it down,
virus so
or it
that
makes you
you're
stronger.
but no,
Yeah,
no, no. The whole point of it is that your body can build that immunity.
correct.
So if my
But
body
here,
can't produce the immunity, why on earth would you be giving me a vaccine?
but here's the scary thing. It's COVID-19. There's been 18 versions earlier of
This is
this
true.
virus,
This is also true.
right? That's been around since God knows when,
Mhm.
right? I mean, we have it documented in history books that it's been around.
Mhm.
I mean, if you look at some of your products, it says coronavirus on there. Like
Yes.
that's not something. This is not something that's new. Second off, like you said, you got how do we build that what's
The
the
natural
terminology?
immunity.
Yes, the herd immunity. That's what it is, where we develop like that strength because we're around each other and we can fend it off.
Mhm.
It's like it's and then the if you look at it the other end too, they're rushing to make this vaccine, right?
Mhm.
And what if you've ever done anything in a rush? What do? You're
You make
panicking,
mistakes.
right? You're stressed. You make mistakes. Exactly. That's
Yes.
why I'm going to be so hesitant to take the first dose because I'm like, look, I'm healthy. I don't really have any of the complications that most people are having. With their everyday lives, which is making the virus, 100 times more lethal,
Mhm.
right? I'm gonna keep trying to stay fit, and I'm not gonna volunteer to take this vaccine. You're
Yeah,
gonna have to
absolutely not.
force me to take it. You're gonna have to force me.
uh,
Not the way they're not like like you said, they double talk, they contradict themselves, and they're
yes.
just panicking. They're panicking because the economy is hurting. And the same, like the virus and the economy, it's like a race right now. It's a
Mhm.
race. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Right? And it's like they want us to open up shop. And once again, this goes back to the argument I had in the beginning. We can compromise, but just moving forward to a more online connected world.
Yeah.
We can all work from home for the most part. Teachers can work from home,
Mhm.
right? Engineers like technology engineers, they can work from home. Accountants can
I
work
need
from
to
home.
just say, teachers working from home. I'm not about it. As a parent, I need my kids the hell out of my house.
Yeah, but why do kids go to school for 8 hours? Because that's your daycare. That is
Yes.
your babysitting, right?
Yes, it
That's
is.
government funded, free government funded daycare,
Yep.
right? But think about it this way. Let's say fast forward 10 years from now, we actually implemented a system where we're all connected remotely, right?
Mhm.
You right now, it's a negative for you because your kids are at home and after a couple of hours they're just getting on your nerves, right?
Right.
So what
They're
let's say
so needy.
right, but let's say you now, remote schooling is a thing. It's a
Mhm.
reality, right? Let's say you end up being somewhere for a month. Instead of paying your rent at home, you pay your rent somewhere else.
Okay.
Now you're at a new location, right? You do the schooling remotely with your kids. You're in Spain or something. And after the first 4 hours,
I like where
school's
this is
done. Now
going.
you can go sightseeing. Now you can
Yes.
go sightseeing. Now you can go live life. Now you're getting back to being a human and humanity and being one with life,
Yeah.
one with the planet. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's where my mind is thinking.
I
Like with the
definitely see
kids
the
right now,
possibilities. Like it's an amazing, amazing opportunity. I
right?
was actually looking at flights. I'm thinking about taking the babies to Florida.
Yeah,
You know, rub some elbows with the other COVID quarantine people who are daring to
at the
go out.
beach.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like minus the virus. Think about all the positives that we can push forward.
Mhm.
But the thing is that we're gonna come out of this in crisis mode, right?
Mhm.
We're going to end up coming out of keeping all the negatives and losing the positives that we could have kept moving forward with.
Mm.
Because once again, we're relying heavily on the government. And once they take things away from you, you're not going to get it back.
Right.
Look at
Absolutely.
9/11. Once they take something away, you're not going to get it back.
That's it. Our privacy is gone.
Yes. Yes. And if we as a society, we as beings, human beings, would have pushed back at our leadership and said, look, we're not going to do that, but we'll compromise with you. And we're going to say, hey, give us this, and actually took one for one,
Mhm.
we would have had a lot more positive things coming out of this than we
Yeah.
do now. That's the way I look at it. Like I wish my kids can homeschool.
Mhm.
And like I said, if I was working, like if my job was permanently, then we get back to that nomadic nature that we used to be.
Yes. Which would
And
be
it
so
goes back,
cool.
right, because now you're getting back to living. You're
Mhm.
getting back to life. You're being fulfilled, and you're not looking for those, simple gratifications, right? If you're living,
But also we have the opportunity to, raise our kids ourselves.
mm-hmm, exactly,
We
exactly.
get the opportunity to give them the experiences, the life experiences that we want our kids to have.
Right. And you get to be engaged with who and what they're teaching your kids, right?
Yeah.
Who's teaching your kids? Are they instilling their values and their way of thinking onto your children?
Mhm.
Which a lot of, public schools, I have to say it, they are part of the programming.
Yeah.
They start at a very young age saying, "Oh, you got to go to college and you got to think like this," and they kill creativity,
Mhm.
you know? They also kill individuality, right? They put you into this group tank, and they don't let if you're a boy who's rambunctious, what do they say? Oh, you got to get some kind of medication, right?
Yeah.
When really all this kid wants to do is what is naturally in him, right?
Mhm.
To wrestle and fight and have fun, right?
Mhm.
But then they're like, oh no, no, settle down. Everybody gotta be the same.
Hmm.
And it's that group think mentality.
That is the
They
age
don't
old
really
like
let you.
argument because if you look at like all the advances in technology that we've had, like if you look how far like our communication has come from like the telegraph to like us doing these video calls and everything. And
Exactly.
you look at the car, the way the cars were when they were first, not even the car, like if you look at the horse drawn buggy to like now the electric cars, like everything that we do as a society, we're
Hmm.
creating these inventions, we're progressing, but with schools they look exactly the same as they did when they first started.
Well, it
That
goes
same
back
that
to
same push, that same mentality for evolution is not happening with our school systems.
right. It goes back to the argument we were having earlier, where our whole system of going into the workforce and actually working, right, to sustain life
Mm-hmm.
is a chore. It's an obligation. It's not something that we have incorporated into our life. We do it because we have to.
Right.
So now if we were to revamp the whole system from school on up, where you are actually embracing life and all that stuff, like the learning is an enjoyment because you're not in a cage for eight
Mm-hmm.
hours everything's going to change. And us as human beings, I can totally see it. We're going to start being nomadic again. We're going to start living a minimalistic lifestyle. I mean, right here in my home, I'm walking through my home talking to you right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see like just crap that I got to throw out of
Oh
this
my
house.
gosh, that you just own, you just accumulate over the
Yes,
years. I
exactly,
know.
because I'm stuck in this one place, and
Oh
I've been
my
here for
gosh,
years.
it gets like
And
cluttered. You feel like it's all like
yes,
coming in at you. Like,
and
goddamn.
I guarantee that a lot of people can relate to this. That they
Yeah.
just have so much shit, and we've collected so much
Oh my
shit.
god, like
And when it
storage
comes times to
units?
move,
Storage
exactly,
units blow my mind. Like, why? Why?
right, and
Do
and
you
and
honestly need that stuff if you're not accessing it?
no, 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 because I had a storage unit for about a year.
Uh-huh.
All that shit, I took it and I put it down into the basement of my first house,
Uh-huh.
moved it again into the basement of my second
Oh
house, and
my
I still haven't
god.
touched it. It's
Oh
there.
my god.
And I'm just every time I think about it, it's just like an overwhelming, like I don't want to deal with that today.
Yes.
But why? Because I've been stuck in one location for so long that I accumulated junk. Why?
Yeah.
Because of the simple gratification of buying shit.
Hmm.
And that's not what life should be about. Like I shouldn't be excited to go shopping. I should go to shopping because it's a
But I
necessity.
am. I can't wait to go shopping. Buy some throw
But do
pillows
why? But
for the
ask
couch.
yourself why. Ask yourself why do you get excited to go
Hmm.
shopping?
You know
Because
what
you're
I
not traveling,
you
you're
know
not
what's
living.
crazy? What's crazy is I enjoy shopping and purchasing things because it changes up my environment.
Right. Because you can't change your environment. You can't
Yeah.
go up, you can't just up and move.
No, but I can paint a
So
room
now
and I can throw some pillows in there and boom, brand new
but
atmosphere.
let's break some more walls. Let's break some more boundaries. Now let's say we go back and we take a step back and we buy a house, right? But
Hmm.
we buy that house with the intention that we're gonna Airbnb it.
Right.
So we get a prime location and we're only staying in that house when we're in town, right?
Hmm.
And now we're Airbnb months everywhere else we go, right? We're working to live life, right?
Yes.
To enjoy life,
Yep.
to be part of life. We're not working to sustain our mortgage and pay our bills. We're not being an
Mm,
indentured servant. We're not being a slave.
exactly.
You see, we're changing the mindset.
I think about that all the time. Like, like with this house I bought a little townhouse, I'm sandwiched
Hmm.
between two neighbors and um
But you got it at a prime location. You have a very, you have a high, like a high profile attraction coming soon.
yes.
That's going to bring that tourism business into your
Yes.
location. So
And so
you
this
have a
house
prime
was
house
supposed to
to,
be my starter home.
yes,
So I'm putting like the sweat and the tears into it and I'm building stuff and I'm making this and I'm changing that and ultimately I don't want to retire here and die here. This isn't the rest of my life.
right. So this is why I keep telling the message, and like I'm trying to like tell my children, like, yo, stop trying to be in a cage.
Mhm.
You've been in a cage for 12 years when it comes to school and mommy and daddy's home, right?
Mhm.
That's a cage. College is another cage. Getting the 9 to 5 job, that's a cage. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Like we have that spirit, just like the bird and the lion and the horse and the Mustang, all the animals out there that just want to run free. That's how we need to be. And just like our ancestors used to be,
Uh-huh.
I get it. We built society to have shelter,
Yes.
right? To protect us from the elements, to protect us from, uh, predators, to protect us from just just all the bad things out there, right?
Mhm.
However, we lost that spirit that we used to have in us. We lost the spirit of the tribe. We lost the spirit of being nomadic and traveling, and also the spirit of scarcity in a sense. Like I don't want to say because when you say scarcity, that's like a bad mindset to have. They always tell you, oh, but have that abundant mentality, right?
Right.
That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when it's scarcity is like appreciate everything you have.
Mhm.
Like, hey, I ate this piece of meat today. This is a blessing to me, right? When you have that kind of mentality, you're not gonna overeat, all the Oreos in your cabinet.
Right.
You're just gonna eat what you need to get by.
What's a nice
And maybe
analogy? There's like a quote that I was reading I came across
okay,
recently, but it's some people have the mentality of you only live once.
exactly.
Other people have the mentality of you only die once. You get to live
Exactly.
every
And you're
day.
living every day. Yes.
Yes, every
And
day is
then
an
you ask yourself,
opportunity.
right, this is the reason why one of the guys I was watching on YouTube who started the whole van life because I was really drawn into the whole van life.
Yes, you've been talking
I
about
was
this. I mean, it's
yeah,
definitely out there. You're speaking into
yeah.
existence. Like,
And
I'd
I'm
love
gonna
to
do it.
help you
I know I'm
build
gonna
it.
do it.
Let's do
I am gonna do it.
it.
But his video, the way he started, he had a very lucrative job and he
Hmm.
had a very nice apartment overlooking like the water area in Canada, right?
Beautiful. Yep.
And I was looking at the very first, but he said it. He was like, "Look, I see this every day.
Yeah.
Like, what? No matter what view you have, in whatever city or by the beach or whatever, you're gonna see that same view every single day.
Mm.
And that natural adventurer in you, right? Your
You want to
ancestors, the
explore. You want to
spirits
go
from the
see what else is
past.
out
Yes,
there.
it's in your DNA. They're gonna want you to go out there and see the world.
Hmm.
There's a reason why there's so much natural beauty in the world. Like this, what the like the eighth, 12th, 10th, 30 wonders, natural wonders of the world, right? Like it keeps evolving.
It does.
Like at the Grand Canyon, right? You're right. The natural, what was it? The what's those glistening lights up north?
The Northern Lights.
Yeah. And then you have, the Grand Canyon, and then you have just so much. It's just so much beauty in this planet
Mm-hmm.
that why would you want to stay in one location and one shack, one cage all your life and miss out on everything that's out there?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like we have nice houses because we did what we were told to do.
Yeah.
But those nice houses come with nice chains,
Jeez, I
the
know.
nice ball and chains. You got mortgage and utilities and insurance, and the list goes on and on.
And it never ends. You can pay off your home
No,
and you're still paying property taxes.
yes,
For the
no, every
Northeast, you're probably paying, upwards of $12,000 a year. That's a
yeah,
whole other mortgage.
and then life happens, right? Life happens, and then the next thing you know, you're taking out another loan or
Yeah.
using up a credit card and all that stuff, and you're just treading water. You're just treading water, and then you'll find yourself being in this like robotic mode where you just keep waking up and going to work, waking up and going to work, and it's just the same old repetitive pattern. And there's a reason why people end up having a mental breakdown,
Mm-hmm.
and it may not be so like blunt. Oh my god, I'm breaking down. No, it's that subtle. Oh, he's having a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, Karen just had an affair. You know, it's those
God
things
damn it,
because it's
Karen.
the damn it, Karen. Yeah, and it's the redundancy of life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why the family unit is not staying together anymore,
Yeah.
right? Like think about all that stuff. Think about how we used to be when we were, yeah, okay, back in, all right, if I bring that up, people are like, whoa, well, we didn't have clothes and we really didn't have food and we really didn't have shelters, and the weather and animals live past 25, right?
Right.
And it's like, I get that, I do that. However, the values that we had at those times, we lost that. We lost a sense of family. We lost a sense of tribe. We lost a sense of exploration,
Mm-hmm.
the values we had back then. And I don't know. I don't know how we get there. How we incorporate, how do we do it like a hybrid of what we used to be and what we are now? Because I don't want to lose the technology. Don't get me wrong. The technology helps us, right?
Right.
How do we evolve with that?
That's a great question.
Like, how do we get that hunter spirit back,
Mm-hmm.
that explorer spirit back, but with technology? What do? We go back, we go into space, we become space explorers.
Oh, geez. It's funny you say that because there is definitely a push to get us into space.
There is,
That's like the
yeah,
next
the
big
Trump,
thing. Let's
yeah,
leave. Let's leave the
yeah,
Earth
the Space
behind.
Corp, yeah, the
And
Space
I'm
Corp,
about it. Go ahead, leave the Earth.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
staying
for
right
it too.
here. I'm gonna be doing my little meditations. Maybe make the rocks around me, hover.
But you know what? Before you send people to space, because this is the thing. There's like two space programs. There's a military one, right?
Hmm.
Right. That's NASA, right? The government funded one, and then there's the commercial one that like all these people are sending the rich up to space and all that, and they're doing
Right.
all that. Like, look, I'd rather do the NASA one where there's like some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? There's like bonding, but there's training, and there's like you got to pull your weight.
Uh huh.
Because the last thing I want to do is go into space with somebody who's just a half ass and just want to leech off of me.
I see what you mean. See, but I'm not trying to go to space. I'm happy here on Earth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So then, if that's not the thing that's gonna spark us, what is it gonna take for us to get back into that whole, let's go into the unknown? Like those people who like they have their life calling to hike up the Himalayas or something
Yes.
like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they have that natural like urge to be an adventurer, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we spark that in like 90% of the lazy fucks out here?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know.
Everybody who's collecting a check right now, because look, unemployment keeps going up every week that we're in quarantine. Why? Because they're getting so much money in unemployment.
Yeah.
It's not because they're losing their jobs. It's because it's easier. Like I saw an article that came up that said jobs cannot compete with unemployment right now.
Hmm.
They're losing employees because it pays so well.
That's
What is it like
crazy.
$900 a week?
I don't know. I've never received unemployment.
No, right now I think they got an extra stipend from the government
Uh huh.
for $600. So it's federal, an extra $600 a week in addition to whatever the state's providing you.
I'm sorry. All right, let's get into this conversation, okay?
Ooh, I knew that was
Where
gonna
do
trigger
we
you.
think, where the hell do we think this money is coming from?
My pockets,
I
my
don't believe that.
pockets.
I don't believe that. I think our government is just printing money because that's what they do. And I think that their aim is to get themselves so much into debt that our only answer will be to switch our currency.
Well, they're gonna do that.
That's what
I
I
mean, that's
foresee.
the framework is in place. They're gonna do that.
That's
They're gonna
why I'm
introduce a
about it.
digital
They want
currency.
to keep sending me stimulus checks. That's cool. I'll keep spending them.
But here's the thing you don't understand. Here's the thing you don't understand, and then you're not factoring in it. They're still evil. They're still evil. So you
Okay.
know what they're gonna do? You know what they're gonna do? They're probably gonna keep making it seem like the states don't have money, and they'll wipe away the debt for like New York and Jersey's debt, federal government's debt,
Uh huh.
all the other countries' debt. They'll even wipe away corporate debt. But guess who still has to carry their debt?
Who?
Me and you. Me and you and everybody, Tony Shalhoub's out there. We still got to pay our debts. We're still going to have our Visa cards. We're
Hmm.
still going to have all that debt that we racked up, and we're still going to be enslaved because that's how they control us, right?
Hmm.
Then, right? Now that they don't have debt, what can they hoard? What can they hoard? Oh, the new financial system, whatever the new currency is, they can go ahead and buy it and invest and do all this because driven by they're not driven down by the debt. And who can't do that?
We can't because we're
Because
in
we
debt.
still have debt. Because we still have the debt. Exactly. Exactly. So you shouldn't be no, nobody should be saying, give me that check.
Hmm.
No. Because all they're gonna do is they're gonna just jack up taxes, right? Like I know people who got like 10K back from taxes when they only put in three.
Oh, that's
And they
crazy.
think that the extra seven is just magic money. I'm like, no. I had to pay extra this year. That money I paid, you got that.
Hmm.
So what you're doing is taking money from somebody else. You're
Hmm.
taking, money away from my kids. You're taking a vacation away from me. You're taking, and I get, and look, you try to argue this, and people are like, oh well, maybe they need that money to pay their bills and put food on the table.
Hmm.
And I'm like, you know what's the first thing they're gonna do with that money? Because I've seen it. Get a Kate Spade bag, get some iPods or AirPods, right?
Yes,
A
that's,
new
fueling the
iPhone,
economy.
right? Feeding the economy, right, right.
That
You
is
don't think
forever my excuse. Let's do it.
you don't think I would have liked the new iPhone, or they took a vacation, take two vacations, right? Because that money's good. Let's take two vacations.
Right.
And yet you're taking it from another family who's now got less of what you got because free money is not earned money, so they don't know what to do with that money.
You see, but I understand what you're saying, but what you're saying also doesn't make sense because you're not going to get more money back than you paid during the year.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
Like
You're arguing
I
with
could pull up my taxes from like the last 10 years and I've never
no.
received more money back than was taken from me throughout the
Oh
year.
no, yes, it does, and it's called the kid stipends. I've seen it done.
No,
I've
but
seen it happen.
it's not just you have to work. I don't know. I don't think that's completely accurate. And I'm just speaking from my experience. I don't know from other people's tax returns. I've never seen someone else's tax return, but when they give you like that child stimulus, like oh per child you can get an extra 1K back per child, you've paid that amount already. It's just more
No,
money that you're receiving back from your taxes.
I saw the W two. The
Hmm.
W two. They put in $3,000 and they return from the federal government was 10 grand. Yep,
That makes zero
that's what they
sense
got
to
back.
me.
But that's what they got back.
How the hell? And if that's
Yeah.
the case, then I'm doing it wrong. I'm working too much.
But you can also say that there's people on Section 8 who owns
Uh-huh.
their own home,
Yes. Yeah,
right?
Section 8 has that program.
Right. And do you think that that's right? That they can own their own home when there's people struggling and they can't own their own home and they're working and they're doing everything they were told they needed to do?
I think that utilizing resources that are available to you is smart.
It's
Like
not
why
resources though.
wouldn't you utilize a resource that's
But
available to you?
it's not resources. You know what that is? That's taxes. That's taxes of money that corporate America is not paying that
So, all right. So with the
because they don't
Section
have
8
to do
thing.
tax write-offs.
So with Section 8, if you have Section
Mm-hmm.
8, right, and you're a renter, you're renting an apartment,
Right.
there is no limit to how long you can have Section 8. Like you
Okay.
can have that for the next 50 years until you die.
Right.
If your income stays within like their limits. But
But I
if you qualify to purchase a home, which they, push you to purchase a home, I don't know if they do, if they push you, but let's just say they push you to. If they sign the mortgage with you saying, "Hey, we're going to support you." It's only for up to an X amount of years.
Okay, but still, it's not resources. It's taxes. It's still somebody's money. Now I
Mhm.
get the renting thing. I get the renting thing because all you're doing is somebody else that's a small business that's providing that residency, right?
Mhm.
So the government's paying that rent. So it's actually spurring a small business owner
Right.
to actually go out there and rent stuff and say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go rent to this family because I know that I'm gonna get consistent money from the government.
Mhm.
And I get that, like to a certain extent. I mean, the money still taxes. It still taxes somebody. But if that small business owner is getting taxed, he's actually getting it back now in profit, right?
Right.
So it's like a circle of life. And I kind of can go with that. But to have somebody, right, who can skim under the system and now
Mhm.
own a home and then possibly rent that home out and make a profit when they didn't put anything into the system because they're not paying taxes, it's a broken system.
But you can't rent it out. It has to be
How do you know though?
your residence where you live.
And you said it's only for a certain amount of years.
Right.
So after a certain amount of years, they can do whatever they want.
I don't think if it's I might be confused in my facts. I don't know if it's a certain amount of years, like a cap, or if it's like a minimum amount of years.
But you get what I'm saying? Like there's not the circle of life. There's the taking, but there's not the giving.
Right.
And so it's like you got to have that complement of all right, if you're going to take something, you got to give something in return.
Mhm.
But it just seems like our society is broken in the sense that it's just a lot of taking.
So
And
what
it's
would you
taking
suggest? So what would you suggest for the family who can't afford rent on their own?
I would
Is
say
it
that
their fault?
no, 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 no. And this is what I would suggest. I think we need to do more. I don't want to say urban development, but that's what it started with. Like the projects that you see in the city,
Uh-huh.
that was the first phase of that, and they kind of let it die, where
Right.
it was supposed to be a community of low income individuals, right?
Mhm.
And so now, if we're providing if the government's going to provide a home for you, then you should provide some kind of work, and it should be like a work home program where they're living in a community
Mhm.
and then they do the work so the community can be self-sustained. Like you remember a few years ago, you remember when we were younger, when we were kids,
Mhm.
and Ma took us to that one community, that religious community, and they were all self-sustained. It was like a cult.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember that? Oh my God,
No.
this thing it was
Were these
amazing.
wait, was this the people who like they used to wear nothing but white?
I don't remember what they were wearing. I just remember walking through the community and it was amazing because everybody had their own rooms and they
Uh-huh.
had like a farm, they had a garden. It was just like they were all self-sustained.
Oh my god, I don't remember this.
And Ma was really considering
Yo,
moving
we
there,
almost
like
joined the
actually moving.
cult.
Yeah, we were really, we really were. That's bro. That's a story you could
What?
tell now. Yeah, we almost Ma almost joined this cult. I want to say that it was like a radical group of like Jehovah Witnesses,
Okay.
and like they were, they were all bond together because of their religious value and their religious belief.
Mhm.
But it was like it was a community where everybody was pulling their weight of food and working, and they provided a roof over your head. Everybody had their own room.
Right.
It was a nice compound. It was a very nice compound. But yeah, we almost joined the cult.
Wow.
And this is how Australia started. Like Australia was a prison,
Mhm.
right? Like Great Britain, and I think it was Great Britain. They were sending like England. England was sending all of their prisoners to Australia,
Mhm.
and then it ended up becoming a community, and now it's a
What?
country.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So like it's like with prison, right? Prison, like you have all these people locked up,
Mhm.
and yet they're not doing anything. They're just a leech on the system
Right.
because we got to feed them, we got to medicate, we got to provide medication,
Yeah.
we got to feed them, we got to house them, we got to
Provide entertainment.
security,
Yep.
right? And like you got to ensure all this stuff is there because it's inhumane if you don't,
Mhm.
right? But what are they giving back? And most of these guys, they get out of prison and they can't even function in society. However, if you look at the prison, they all start forming a bond and a community in the prison, right?
Right.
So why not form that bond and community and have a self-sustaining prison where they're raising their own food?
Mhm.
And it's their own system. Whatever makes it work in those four walls, they do it.
I see what you mean.
The only thing is that we provide the security outside so they don't harm us,
Right.
right? Because whatever crime they did, they got locked up in there. But
Mhm.
once they're in there, they got to pull their weight.
That
It's
would
like,
also give
yo,
them
you
more of a
don't
sense of
eat.
purpose too.
Right, exactly. And then
Right.
they
But
start
then
running
what?
trade.
But then when they start like clicking up and like those people aren't allowed to eat now, like.
No, because I mean, it's still there's still going to be guards, right?
Mhm.
So, but I mean, the clicks are still there. The clicks are still there,
Yeah.
right? You have your Nazis in prison. You
It's
have
just
your
like being in high
Latino
school. There's a
gangs, your
different
black
clicks.
gangs. There's always clicks.
Right.
However, there's also a sense of bonding, right?
Mhm.
Like your cellmate and all the other people in your group and your clique, you bonded with these people.
Mhm.
So why not bond for a purpose?
Hmm.
Help with resources. And now once you get out of that prison community, right, you get into another community. Like, okay, you did your 5 years in prison.
Mhm.
Now you get into this low income community where you have a skill set. You're like, yeah, when I was in prison, I was the gardener. Okay, so you could be the gardener here.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And then now you're gardener. But now you're working your way up and through society.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
I
we
think
don't
that
we,
goes
we
back.
don't
That goes back to our whole, the need they keep saying for us to have smaller communities.
yes.
Because
Yes.
we rely so heavily on like a grocery store.
Uh-huh.
We rely so heavily on like this huge chain of just like what our economy has become that
And I think
we are losing those like those innate,
yes.
traits. Like, we're not teaching our children how to grow a garden, how to make
Mm-hmm.
their own food.
Right. And
We're
you
not even
and
teaching our
you
children how to like think outside the box.
Yeah, and you nailed it. You nailed it. The reason why we don't have that. The reason why we don't have that is because we would be taking money away from your Walmarts and your McDonald's and all. Can you imagine if we were all just eating off of the land?
Mhm.
There's a reason why during the quarantine the photo went when the photo went out where there was a section in Walmart that was closed down. They said, the packets of the wall of seeds was
Mhm.
non-essential.
Right.
They were like, you couldn't buy this product.
Ugh.
Or like the small mom and pops hardware stores and gardening stores are closed while Lowe's and Home Depot can stay open,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So like you nailed it. The reason why we don't have that and that whole sense of purpose and that sense of community and that sense of tribe is because We are loyal to the almighty dollar, and
Mm-hmm.
the one who runs the dollar is corporate America. So you nailed it.
Mm.
You nailed it.
Yep.
We gotta take down. We gotta have a war with Walmart.
Ooh,
We want to get back to that.
there's your audio. You sound great right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, was it falling apart before?
I mean, you were coming and going in different spots, and I just spoke, trying to, kill the whole
Okay.
dead air thing.
Gotcha. Because let me know when it does that. Because to me, it's been on.
That's
Uh
funny. It's
oh.
doing it right
Uh oh. You said
now.
something and now it went crazy. I'm getting censored. I'm getting censored.
Yeah. So I mean, the audio wasn't
How's it working
terrible
now?
before. It's just like I heard a difference. Like it's definitely different right now.
Okay. Is it good now?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh,
war against Walmart.
gotta have a war against Walmart.
Oh my gosh, we're being censored. We're so getting censored for that one. And it's weird because like we hear all these stories
I
like
know. I
randomly
know.
throughout the year about how different communities are like fighting. They don't want the Walmart in their community, and in my mind for the longest time I was like, well, why wouldn't they want a Walmart? But when we actually break it down to the root of how we're losing our community and our sense of humanity, it comes down to these big
Mm-hmm.
conglomerates. We're on a
It
local
is. And
level, we're striving too hard to receive, resources from other parts of the world.
yes. And the reality is it goes back to the thing that I keep harping. Simple pleasures. Simple pleasures. We sacrifice the tribe for easy access.
Hmm.
That's all it is. Going to Walmart is just convenience. So
It
we
is.
sacrificed the tribe
You can
and
grab your
values
groceries. You
and
can
the
grab that
home
scarf
thing
because it's cold as hell. You can
for
grab your shovel because the
convenience.
snowstorm's coming.
Yes.
It's all right there.
Yes.
Ooh, my
When
car needs a
all
new
that stuff you
battery.
just
I'm gonna get
mentioned,
that
we
too.
used to make it. All that stuff we used to make that all that stuff. Like, oh, we need a shovel. All right, we're gonna where's the blacksmith to make some metal,
Yeah.
right? Oh, we had the tanner, right? The guy who made leather so we can have, some good boots and shit.
Hmm.
And we lost all that skill set. And once again, I'm mentioning like different trades and different jobs, but think about it. You were working with that person. You were working with that group that created a sense of unity and a sense of, it created a bond,
That was your
right?
community. I mean,
That
think
was
about
part of
it.
your
Like
tribe.
even like the police, like you'd have your local sheriff and it'd be like,
Yes.
like, "Oh, that's my
Yes.
neighbor. Like my son goes to school with his
Right.
son," kind of thing. They were part of the
Right. Right.
community.
And some people just couldn't work with their hands, right? They didn't have the
Hmm.
skill set. They just couldn't do the things, right?
Right.
But yet they had a backbone. So they were the hunters. They were the security. They were the guys out there,
Yeah.
the muscle.
We all had a purpose.
And we need that. We all had a purpose, and there's a lot of lost bodies on this planet. Not only are we overpopulated at this point, but we just like you said, a lot of people don't have purpose.
Hmm.
A lot of people don't have a calling. And the sad part about it is like when we used to have a tribe and a community, the even the elderly had a purpose.
Yeah.
Like our elderly now, put them in a home and we forget about them.
Hmm.
What was their purpose back in the day? They used to be the sage. They used to be the wisdom.
Yes.
They used to pass down the trades, right?
Yeah. It's
Right.
where
You
you
had an
coined the
apprentice, and you had
it's where we coined the whole like respect your elders.
exactly because
Like
they had the wisdom, they had the
yes,
knowledge.
yes. There was a sense of
But we're
pride
not we're
there.
not right. But we're disconnected with that today.
Hmm.
So the system is broken because us as humanity, as humans, we're broken,
Yeah.
and we broke it for the sense of convenience. It's the reason why it's called a convenience store, right?
Hmm.
Like we took the easy route in society and in life because we just wanted easy pleasures, and we didn't want to do the work anymore as a society.
Hmm.
So how do we get back? This is why I keep asking, like, how do we get back to that? How do we tell somebody, look, you got to stop having your McDonald's, you got to stop having your Walmart, you got to stop having all of that because you need to work for the things you're getting.
Right.
Oh, I don't want to work. I don't, they're gonna balk at you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because the younger generation, they're starting to have this sense of like a sense of entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why the whole thing is millennials. Oh my God, I got to work with a millennial,
Mm-hmm.
right? Heaven forbid, because they don't want to do any work.
Right.
Why? Because they were accustomed to college where it was all about me, and their safe space, and oh, what was me? Listen to my emotions, and I'm the center of the universe.
Yeah. And I mean,
And then they
even
go
as
to
children, though,
Mhm.
as children, we put our children on the pedestal.
Right.
Oh, Christmas? Oh my God, how much money can I spend on my
Yes.
child this Christmas?
Exactly. And you know which one actually really gets put on the pedestal the most is daughters. Fathers, I'm sorry guys, but your daughter, you should not applaud her because she's cute.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an accomplishment. That was just a natural trait, that's natural selection.
Yeah.
Have your daughter do something before you applaud her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're tough on our boys, right? We make them play football and soccer and baseball and all the sports, and like, well, you got to get better. You got to practice. You got to. Oh, why didn't you win? Right?
Mm-hmm.
But daughters, daddy, and that's it.
Yeah.
And they start that manipulation at the age of 3,
Jeez.
and it's like you know it because you got a daughter, and you're
Oh
like,
my
oh God,
God. Oh my
oh,
God.
he's spitting
Yo, I
truth right
see I
now.
see right through it though. Oh my God, my daughter's such a drama queen.
Yes,
She
yes,
knows how to manipulate people.
and that's
Yo,
how
I
women are. And
swear, I feel like I'm the only person on this planet who like sees right through her bullshit.
no, I see her shit. I see her shit, and that's why you called me out. That's why you were like,
I did
oh,
call you out that one
she
day.
can't. Yeah, you were like, look, she can't grow up hating you, and I'm like, I get that, but I don't. But I have to be the bad guy because the other two adults that are always around her
Mm-hmm.
always kissing up to her
Yeah.
because why? She's a female. I don't get that. No, I'm not saying you because you're like neutral,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got me, which is like hard on her, and then you got grandma, who
Oh
just
my lord. Kisses
gives
the
her everything
floor
she
she
wants
walks
because she's a
upon.
girl.
Oh my God.
Right, because she's a girl.
That's also grandma's only granddaughter. And she's just like, oh my
I
God,
get
my baby
that. I
girl.
get that.
Grr.
But grandma has, I get that, but grandma has 6 grandchildren. And if
Yeah.
she just looked at it as children
Yes.
instead of male or
It'd
female,
be different.
she would treat her just like she treats the other ones.
Yeah.
And like that's the thing, like as a society, we got to stop looking at it as a man and a woman thing. We
Mm-hmm.
got to look at it as a people thing, as a human thing.
Yeah.
Especially if we're out here, pushing the message that we're all equal,
Mm-hmm.
then why do we see, man or woman? Especially when it comes to children. Like, yo, we got like, come on, yo, you got to stop treating your daughters differently because all they're gonna do is grow up to be women, and they can manipulate their parents. What do you think they're gonna do in society
Oh, man,
to their boyfriend
I
or
need
their
to tap
husband
into
or
my feminine
whatever?
energy and just like manipulate the shit out of the stuff in my life.
You're not right now.
I need that. I need that in my life.
uh, all I'm saying is like I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm saying. We're just ranting. Hopefully, it's been a good rant though. I'm hoping
Yes.
like it's a sense of positivity.
It
You
definitely is.
know,
It's been fun.
look forward to what you're gonna do in the next couple of months when we get out of quarantine,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of look forward to where society is gonna go after all of this. Because you can definitely take it to a negative. You can give it a negative spin, and you're like, oh, the economy is gonna be hurting. Oh, war, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could take it into a very positive spin, and who knows? We're doing space exploration,
Yeah.
but you don't want to go into space.
I don't. I'm content right here. I think going into space is just looking for trouble because the aliens are gonna come back.
Uh, but you know what though? If you are content with here,
Mm-hmm.
then that means that you're doing it right. You're happy with your life.
Yeah, I am.
So just keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Level up. That's what you got to do. Level up like a
Level
game.
up,
Just level up.
level up, level up, level up.
Yep. That's it. But for everybody who's listening and just me and you too, we just got to find our sense of purpose. We
Mm-hmm.
just got to get back to that
Dude, this
and put the right
past
people
winter,
around us.
This past winter, I had a pair of boots, my favorite boots, like hands down. Like they were comfortable, they're sexy, like they're
Your
just
monkey
amazing
boots?
boots.
Your monkey boots? The one that
Not my
from Fortnite?
Kalukalus, no.
I don't even know what that is.
My Kalukalus,
What?
my
Yeah, what
boots.
is that? What origin is that word? Is that African? That sounds like an African word.
I don't know, but I got this word from somebody who's Japanese, so that just
Oh,
throws more into the
jeez.
mix.
Okay, it does sound like a Japanese word.
I don't think
Okay.
it is though.
So it's hilarious. You're like throwing out these like different words. I'm telling you, me and you, we live in two different worlds. Oh God.
I
She's
baked
over here.
cookies again this week, and I was like, "Ooh, Ray would love this."
Yeah, no,
You
Ray
would
was
talk
shooting
so
shit
much
up and
shit.
Ray was shooting shit up in Call of Duty all week
Oh my
long.
gosh.
I've been rampaging with all
Ooh,
the
I've been
guns I
meaning to
can shoot
download
shit
that.
up. You really should. It's fun. It's fun
What's
as hell.
crazy is you told me about it way before
Yeah.
you got into it, and now you're into it,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh my
Yeah, I
god, you
know.
gotta play this
Because
game."
my buddies got me into it, and then I got the kids into it, and that's like we're just been competing like aggressively in it, and it's just it's
Ooh,
just
I
fun to
love
tear
that.
shit up.
I have that in me. That competitive nature. Ooh, I love
Oh,
that.
then
I love a
you
challenge.
need to download it because it has a season pass, your guns, and it's crazy. It is crazy.
Call of Duty. I gotta check that
Yeah,
out.
download it.
I
It's
fell off
huge,
of
though.
Fortnite. I
It's a
haven't
fat
played in
game.
like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're
Not
gonna
that
get
I've
bored. The
fallen
boys
off.
don't want to play no more.
Not that I've fallen off. I've just found I've taken on some projects around the house, and I've just been steadily
And that's
working.
good.
It is absolutely.
Right, and that's good. And that's why I'm telling. That's why I said that if you like, that goes back to me the whole thing where I was like, if you don't have a sense of exploration, like you don't want to go into space because you're comfortable with your life right now,
Hmm.
like that's because you found your purpose. You have a purpose, you have your goal, and you just gotta level it up.
Yeah.
So you're like at level one. Let's get you to level 100, right?
Oh, let's do it.
So if you're not. You see, video games right now is once again, and I'm guilty of it. It's just a guilty pleasure. It's just an easy out,
Hmm.
instant gratification. And I know it. I know it. I'm playing it because it gets my adrenaline pumping. I love to just shoot shit up, but it's not real. It's not sustainable.
Right.
I'm not getting anything out of it. It's just an instant gratification. And you walked away from that instant gratification because you're working hard now.
Hmm.
You're remodeling your house. You have a sense of purpose.
Yes.
So that's good. Don't feel guilty for that.
Oh,
No,
there's no guilt over
I
here.
should
I
feel guilty
love
for
this
playing video
shit.
games.
Oh my god! Like as I'm
Then
seeing
that's
like these
good. If
projects
you can,
unfold, I'm like, what? Superwoman.
right, right. And if you could sit there and you can be like, man, I haven't touched this in weeks. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear you, a few episodes from now be like, yeah, I haven't seen Netflix. I haven't turned on my TV. I haven't turned on, my PlayStation. I haven't turned on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, because you're on your purpose, you're on your hustle, you're on your grind. Keep
Yeah.
doing that.
Oh, I never finished
Yeah,
about my
that's
boots.
awesome. Oh
You
yeah,
got
yeah.
me
Ooga
all
looga loogos.
tangent. No, not those. I'm telling you, it's not those. So I have a really nice pair of boots. They're black, like they're just great boots.
Uh huh.
And
Okay.
so from my last job, I did a lot of walking.
Uh huh.
Especially on like the
Right.
blacktop, and it was just destroying like my heel. So I was trying to find like a cobbler or like a shoe repairman. Dude, they're impossible to
Mm-hmm.
find. That trade is like
They
gone.
are. It's a dying. Yes, it's a dying trade.
People aren't
Yeah.
sewing the holes in their clothes anymore. They're just replacing
No.
them.
Actually, sewing has been picking up steam now because of Rona,
Mhm.
and everything that's happening right now. Like people are sewing their own masks.
Mhm.
But there's this one guy that I follow. He was on the carnivore diet, but he's a seamstress, right? And
Mhm.
he does custom suits for people.
Very nice. Okay.
And to me, that was like I was a very like to me, I was like, wow, that's a really cool trade.
Yes.
And like you said, a lot of trades are dying off. This is why I was actually thinking about getting a 3D printer,
Mhm.
throwing some money down and just figuring out what I can make and just be a builder of some sort, right?
Mhm.
This is where I'm like, yo, find a job where you work with your hands. I'm a big promoter of that. be it if you're cutting hair or you're laying down rocks or whatever the hell you learn a trade where you're working with your hands
Hmm.
because that's something no one can take away from you.
Yeah.
No one can take that away from you. But a lot of these trades are dying. They're dying off. Welders, all that stuff that it's a dying trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it a cobbler,
Yeah,
a shoe
cobbler.
cobbler?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Keebler elf. I just think about the Keebler elf. I don't know
Not
why.
I'm not talking about peach cobbler.
Yeah, the peach cobbler. That sounds good. Yeah, it's sad. So what are you saying? Your boots are all nice now because you're not walking?
No, so I found a friend of a friend found
Uh
a
huh.
cobbler, and my boots are fixed, and I'm so
Uh huh.
excited. And since I'm not working, I'm not wearing my boots.
Right. So you're not walking and your butt's getting big. I think your
This
butt's
is
getting big.
well. I can't wait till this quarantine is lifted. So I go back to the gym. Jeez.
Which that's the one thing I'm surprised they actually shut down.
Mhm.
It's like, how do you want people to be healthy at home to
Well, they
fight
don't want
off
us to be.
a killing virus?
They don't want us to be healthy.
Yeah, that's why you got to question the narrative. You always got to
Yes.
question the narrative. When things doesn't make sense, you got to question it. But a lot of people just listen to what the news tells them.
Yeah. Because
What is the
that's
news
been the
telling me?
norm. That's been the
I
norm.
know.
TV was invented, and our, ancestors were just like, wow, this is amazing. And they started herding into this whole sheep mentality, and that's what we were brought up with.
Yeah.
And like
But
for
you know
us
what?
being in a generation where we saw like life before technology and now we're experiencing life with it, we have a
Right.
different perspective on life. We're able to see through the
We can question.
programming.
Yeah, we can question the narrative because we have different avenues of approach. Like we can go on YouTube or we can go on the internet and we can surf and see if the different angles
Hmm.
of what's being told to us.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the news, man, they're scummy because they do it in this whole guise of professionalism, right?
Hmm.
Like they go in front of you in a suit and tie, and they act all professional, but really, it's just to me, it's no different than like WWE or WWF, right?
Yeah.
It's no different than that. Like that's scripted, right? And they're fighting, and they're putting on a show, and
Hmm.
there's advertisers, right? That to me is what the news is. Especially when you watch it and you see the talking heads and the way they argue and they're giving their opinion because it's
Yes.
all their opinion now. It's not the news anymore. It's their opinion.
Yeah.
To me, it's just entertainment. That's all it is.
Mm. That's a good way
You got
of
to take
looking
that.
at it.
Yeah,
Wow.
you got to take the advertisement dollars out of there.
Hmm.
How's my mic coming in and out still?
No, you sound good.
All right, good, 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 good,
Loud
good.
and in
I
focus.
like
You know
this.
what
I'm
I'm
trying to.
looking forward to? I am looking forward to drinks at the waterfront.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh
why I've
my
been working
god.
with this mobile. This
Summertime, like they open up the
Yep.
walls. They have like the big like garage door
Mm-hmm.
walls and like it's like indoor
Country night.
outdoor.
That's what you're looking
Oh,
forward
I
to.
can't wait.
Some wings. Oh, what was it? What was the appetizer we used to
Oh,
get?
the
The
shrimp.
shrimp. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it
Ooh.
coconut shrimp or something like that?
Was it
No, Cajun
coconut?
shrimp. I think it was like Cajun shrimp because it was spicy.
I don't know. If it was
Yes,
spicy, I wouldn't be
sir.
about it. And I really like that shrimp.
And some gin and tonics. Yes, sir.
Ooh.
You see, I just want to socialize. I'm ready to just go out there and like say, fuck it, let's all just get sick together. And I'm the introvert. That's crazy. This is that now
Yeah.
you know. Now you know we've been inside for too long. And I'm definitely looking forward to just going on a vacation, going somewhere and travel, getting out of here. Like
Oh,
I don't want to be
I
in my home anymore.
agree. I missed the vacation due to this coronavirus.
No, you didn't. You
Yes, I
got
did.
one.
I got
You just got one.
one, but I missed another one.
Oh, okay.
I was supposed to go to Jamaica April 4th. I was supposed to leave. And I was looking online, and Jamaica was like, if you're coming from the USA, we're putting you in
We're not
quarantine for
letting you in.
14
Yeah.
days. I'm like,
Ugh.
ah,
But
that's
see,
not
but
going to happen.
are you being quarantined in the resort? That's not bad.
Right? That would be
I
pretty
ain't, if
nice.
if you're just looking for some tranquility and just being, I just want to rest.
No, the way it's worded, it sounded like they were going to detain you and like you weren't
Oh
leaving the
shit.
airport.
Oh, damn, that sucks. Nah,
Yes.
see, but looking at things in a positive light, think about all the sales, right? If you start booking something now,
Hmm.
book your vacation now. Book it for August. If you have the funds laying around, book your vacation now. Book it for August or September.
Yep.
It's gonna be so dirt cheap.
Oh, I know. I'm looking at prices. Yo,
You could
round
take a
trip,
nice
dude.
2 week
Two
vacation.
people round trip to Aruba is
Hmm.
$650.
Oh my God, do it.
What? What? That's
Or even better, take a
pennies.
cruise. Take a
I don't
cruise.
know about a cruise.
They're
I'm not
so dirt
cruising
cheap
yet.
right
I'm not
now.
cruising yet.
It's like those are the things. That's how you gotta take life. When life hits you hard,
Hmm.
what are you gonna do about it? How are you gonna fight back?
Yeah.
How are you gonna fight back? And this is how you fight back. You take a nice vacation somewhere. Get your passport. Do it now, right?
Whew.
Get your passport now and book your August or September vacation
Hmm.
because I do feel like Ronan's gonna come back in the winter time.
Oh my gosh.
So we're only gonna have like 2 or 3 months to enjoy life, which will probably be around September, like August, September, October, and then it starts getting cold, and there
Just
goes the
in
second
time
case
for
of
my
Rona.
birthday.
Yeah, so book that vacation. It's gonna be dirt cheap. Where you want to go? You want to stay in the States? It's dirt cheap. You want to go to the Caribbean? Dirt cheap. Shoot, if you have your passport, you may even go to Europe. It's probably
Ooh.
dirt cheap to fly out there too.
It's dirt cheap to fly anywhere right now.
Exactly. So book it. Get the Airbnb going. Get all whatever you need to do. You could probably get a nice vacation for about $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
That in normal circumstances will probably run you up 5 grand.
Yeah.
So now's the time to do it. That's how you stay positive. Hey,
And
you
you
want a
know,
new car? Yo, cars are gonna be dirt cheap soon.
oh,
You want
I
a new car?
know. I'm looking at that too. Like, this is gonna be a come up for me.
Yeah, zero APR on your loan,
Yes.
or
I
close
was
to zero
just talking about
APR.
this with my friend the other day. He's like, oh, he needs to buy
Yeah,
a new car. And
yeah.
he started looking around and they're already dirt cheap.
Uh
He's
huh.
already finding deals. They're dropping that 0% APR. Like, what?
I was looking at. I saw because you know me, I like my muscle cars. So
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at, and I came across a Hellcat. It was a like a Hellcat that was maybe 2 years old. It had like 10,000 miles on it, and
Mm-hmm.
mind you, these Hellcats starting, they started at 80,000 up,
Mm-hmm.
half the price, 40K,
What?
with only 10,000 miles on it. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude.
See, and this is how you got to turn things around. This is how look. If you've been blessed to be able to have a job and have funds throughout all of this,
Mm-hmm.
do something positive with that.
Yeah.
You know, like look. If the market when the market crashes, buy some stocks, ride it
Mm-hmm.
back up. How do you turn a positive? How you turn a negative to a positive? How do you do it? This is how you do it.
Yes, you look for
You
those
get that nice
opportunities,
ride. You
and
get
when
that
the opportunity
vacation.
knocks, you answer.
Hmm. Yeah, you say welcome. Come on in.
How's it
I've been
going?
waiting for you. Let's go have fun.
I've been quarantined. I just want to take all my
Yeah.
anxiety out right now.
Yeah, you don't just when they knock on the door, you don't go, who it is, and don't open the door. Come on, man. What are you doing?
Oh my
It's
god, I did that to
opportunity.
my neighbor. Can I? Oh my god, I have a story for you all. Oh my god, so my neighbor never met the man. All right,
Uh-huh.
he knocks on my door. This was
Mm-hmm.
like, this had to have been like a good, I would say a month ago. So we were already like a month into quarantine. Shit was shady, very uncertain. And I have a knock on my door. I'm like, who is it? He's like, your neighbor. I'm like, I'm looking for a car. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what do you mean? What neighbor? Like, who the hell are you? I didn't want to open my door.
Oh shit.
Oh my god.
Did you
But
open the
like,
door
I did.
eventually?
I did. I was like, what am I doing? I opened the door. It's not like he was like
Paranoid
guys.
woman.
He wasn't guys as like the CDC or like something like conspicuous, He was just like, oh, it's your
Right.
neighbor. I was like, all right, let me
Right.
see. Who's going to kill me? So I opened
Did
the
you have the
door.
machete behind the door?
I opened the door. He was just like, hey, nice to meet you. He's like, I just wanted to tell you that he was gonna be fixing his fence, and like we own
Right.
like the same fence. We share a fence line, so he was just giving me like a courtesy
Ah.
notice. And
Right.
I
Right.
told
Right.
him, I was like, dude, like coronavirus, like you scared the crap out of me.
But you know what? Kudos for you to not be that paranoid female that society wants you to be.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I can't leave my house at night, and oh my God, every man wants to kill me.
Yeah.
Like at least you opened the door, you got to talk to him, and he was like, "Hey, I'm introducing myself. I want I'm fixing the fence, all
Yep.
that." Because that's how it used to be. Like I don't understand this whole sense of like, oh, every man wants to rape me. Like, why do women think like that? That's so
Because
horrible.
women suffer. They
Okay, so then
suffer.
now I should think that every woman wants to get into my pockets
I
and
thought
be
you were gonna
paranoid
say
like
a
that.
different statement. I thought you were gonna say every woman wants to get into your pants. Why is that where my
No,
mind went?
that's every man.
That's
Apparently
every
every man
man.
wants to get into your pants, so every woman wants to get into my pockets.
God damn it! You men have to get your shit together.
I gotta pay for everything. That's like, oh my god, everyone wants
Oh
me to pay for
man.
everything.
I think
See?
every man and every woman is an individual, and some have bad intentions, some have good intentions, and it's up to you to kind of, gauge what that is, where they are on that spectrum.
You are thinking with a rational mind right now. Kudos to you. Keep talking like that, we're gonna get censored.
Oh man.
Well, on that note, before we flag the censorship anymore,
This
close this
was
out.
a great talk, guys. I'm so glad. For everybody who joined and stayed the whole time, thank you so much. We love
Yes,
seeing your comments. Always, those
like,
likes are
comment, subscribe.
amazing. You glance at your
Hmm.
phone, you get that notification like, "Ooh, somebody liked your video." Dude, that's
Yes,
amazing. So thank you if you went ahead and pushed that little thumbs up button. I like you.
yes, like it, subscribe. Subscribe to the bell too, so you get notifications when we go live, and
Yes.
stay tuned to for for the next episode. And be safe.
All right, guys.